Working on is Invisible Flowers Underfoot, or IFU for short. And the entire work, and I'm starting now, but it's supposed to be a series. It's about the women of history and how they're being forgotten, even though they've been uncovered, and the work of feminists from the 70s who started trying to reassert these women into history. But even now, nobody would know who Enheduanna is. And she's the start of my series. She became this powerful person in a period of time when women's rights were starting to be diminished. And she had such power, such sway over the people, because she was the one who controlled the religious rights and all the stories. And she was also the first authored poet, the first literary person. And this is something that is so astronomical, because most people would assume that men were the beginning of literature. We think of Shakespeare and we think of Plato, but we don't think about people like the woman who wrote Frankenstein. And Enheduanna is the beginning of this. She's the first woman to ever self-identify in any text. This entire series is about how me finding out about these women has affected me, how I've found this part of myself, and Enheduanna and her self-identification, her I am Enheduanna. I am the brilliant priestess of Nanna. The way that she so boldly states something, that she claims herself. And I, as a woman in the 21st century, I still don't feel like I have a right to do that. But reading this, having this ancestry, even though I'm not a descendant of Southern Iraq, I'm not somebody who would necessarily think Mesopotamia has anything to do with me, but she's a woman. And so I already feel linked to her. So I was making these panel narratives of her life, and I'm using as a reference her own writing, the poem Exaltation to Inanna, which is one of her most popular. And when I was drawing them digitally, I found this really interesting save function on my iPad, which said GIF. And I'm like, ooh, that could be fun. And as I watched it flicker through, and I changed the speed to be really, really, really fast, and I just kept watching it, it was so much like memory and my own thought process and how I jump from one thing to another because of my autism, that I just like, this is how I want to do this. This is how thought should be like represented in my work. And pairing it with this incomplete embroidery of my own reenactment of Enheduanna, using that women's work and referential nature of it to history and tapestry and panel narratives, like the Bayeux Tapestry, which is one of my historical exemplars. So I'm re-embodying her, kind of Cindy Sherman, Yasumasa Morimura, and his Ego Obscura series. In my piece, I want to talk about how meeting through her words and through my understanding of this historical woman, this great woman, I have become a little bit more secure in myself. The series that'll follow it, and the women that I choose to, that I feel will fill holes and make me feel complete and help me identify the woman I want to be. I feel that this series is autobiographical in the sense of my search for completion through my search in history.